When I used to have money, I would often go to a bookstore and occasionally buy something. It would have to be very good and interesting for both artistic and financial reasons. When I lived in a different place, I checked their copy from the library. Moving to another town, it's one of the first things I do, visit the library. One movie went so far as to ridicule that thought. It was a kind of funny film, and I saw their point, but I don't agree. Cities that have this little may as well provide that service. There are more fun businesses, but there are more fun people. Being given so much false information early on, I've learned to better select who I listen to. Someone has to be accountable. There is a problem with borrowing something you already own. As much as I like some of these things, I rarely find time to read them. Some things are meant to be kept. I don't condone stealing, but I personally would start with these. That's why you buy books, so you own them and have them at your leisure. And you know where they've been recently, for both artistic and sanitary reasons. Nice feeling of security knowing I have a copy and don't have to give it back, until it's somehow stolen from me. If one of the good ones isn't printed anymore, sometimes a name will be written inside. Like garage sales, I will be glad that I found it while being baffled that anyone would deliberately let it go. Topics are covered various times by various levels of money-grubbing liars. Any biography I view as fiction. The victim doesn't get the cash, right? I've seen one location sell off their old stock numerous times. Once again, it's sad to see it go until I get it. Another function of the library is the educational aspect in general. The clientele has no part in the decision-making process, but somebody notices. They don't want anyone sitting there unused for too long. They tend to put the interesting stuff all in the same spots. Parts of the building I'll never live to see, but there's a valid reason why. Of all the places to gouge the funding for, then where they send it. Some locations rent out electronics, which helps if you don't have them. Difficult finding willing participants in show business anymore. Too many gawking bystanders, ironically, only too willing to judge. There are those who are there for the wrong reasons. Sometimes they outnumber those there legally. I don't mean to offend the others, but knowledge is a life raft in a sea of mediocrity. I will apologize if I seem too clingy, but once I find someone with the answers, why waste time? Some smiles disappear when I request someone, and it's sad to see that. It doesn't happen often. There are those glad to get rid of me. Civic pride is a big deal in some libraries, especially in places where they can least afford it. They want you to know where you are even before you've been anywhere else. They try to inject local culture into the building, by force if necessary. The oddest decorations you miss once they're gone. Being in this industry, it's occasionally funny to see claims of opportunities I know don't exist. Bragging about their past is less valid if they aren't doing anything anymore. So hail the public library, guardian of the culture of our past. shall there remain for us who still wish to learn something.